Bom dia a todos.
Good
Sejam
morning,
bem-vindos para o
everybody.
webinar Ourofino
Welcome to
SA,
the webinar
onde nós
of
vamos trazer a vocês
Ourofino
os resultados do quarto
SA,
trimestre de
where we are
2024.
going to bring you the
Acompanhe,
results
sou
of
Marcelo,
the
CEO da companhia,
fourth
Kleber
quarter
Gomes, nosso CEO,
of the year
também irá participar.
2024. My name
Então,
is
temos um ano bastante interessante, de bons
Kleber
resultados.
Gomes, and
E para iniciar o
we are
nosso
here
webinar,
with
quero
Marcel da
chamar
Silva. And
aqui
to
o Kleber
begin with
para trazer
our
a
webinar, I would
mensagem e uma
like to
visão geral dos
invite
negócios. Kleber, bom
Mr.
dia.
Kleber Gomes to give you an overview of our business. Good morning, Marcelo. We are in different places today. I'm talking from an airport room. I hope we don't have any problems due to this. So, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you and deliver the results that we had in 2024, a year full of challenges, but as Marcelo already mentioned, a year that was very positive. I've been in the presidency for 5 years. In the first year, we had years that were impacted by the market, but the company reacted. We did our homework, and I'm very happy to be here delivering the results that we promised for you. So we've resumed our historical margin. We've improved our profitability. We grew in relation to last year. In 2024, with the exclusion of the foot-and-mouth disease, we had a growth of 14% during the year. The quarter was spectacular. We grew 26% in the quarter, and we've worked a lot, during that year. And we are happy because all business units met the results. Production animals had a very good growth. Pet also strong growth. International actions grew a little bit less, but even so, we had a positive result. And so we did some restructures at the beginning of the year that really delivered the expected results. We worked on our expenses, and the result now is that the year was really positive for our cash generation. Marcelo is going to give you details later. We had an assembly. We did a capital reduction, and we delivered a significant amount to our shareholders without compromising our investments in research and in everything that is needed by the company. We also launched 7 products during the year. Very good launches in Chapecó, in the south of Brazil. We launched this Safe-Su Glasser vaccine, unique in the country. Also, we've launched therapies. We are exclusive supplier for some countries. It's a product that diminishes the sensation of stress in the animals, swine and cattle, because stress, reduces productivity, and you can really minimize the impact of stress in the animals. Also, we've launched Phosbion, our organic phosphorus with B12 vitamin that helps a lot with productivity. We've launched our vaccine CDV feedlot as a partnership with Argentina for cattle reproduction. And for pets, we've launched Bunny, our insecticide for dogs. We've launched before the Bunny 3 for cats that is performing very well. And also we've launched EnzyClean. It's a product to reduce and odors and stains for due to urine of animals. So this year was really good.
Kleber, nós te ouvimos.
Peraí só um pouquinho, Marcelo.
Kleber, we hear you.
Pode continuar.
Deixa eu só me localizar porque a minha
Just a
imagem
moment.
saiu da
My
tela.
image is not on the
minutinho
screen
só.
now. Just a minute, please.
Estão me ouvindo, né?
You hear
Então eu
me,
vou
don't
continuar,
you?
eu tô sem
Okay, so I'll
imagem na tela.
continue.
Estão me ouvindo, Marcelo?
I don't see the screen, but
Te ouvimos bem.
I know that
Pode
you
continuar.
hear me.
E aí nós temos uma
And
sequência,
then
né,
we
de
have a
notícias
sequence
positivas.
of
Agora, no
positive
dia 19
news.
de janeiro,
On
nós
the
fizemos um baita de um
19th
evento
of
de
January,
lançamento
we did a
da nossa vacina
very big
imunossupressora suína, a
event to
Linvac.
launch the
Nós
Linvac
trouxemos toda a cúpula da suinocultura brasileira
vaccine.
para
We
perto do Ourofino, tiveram
brought
oportunidade
all
parceiros internacionais de estarem dentro
the
das
most
nossas fábricas.
important
Eu queria
growers
ressaltar
of
que esse
swine in
praticamente é o
Brazil. They
segundo
met
produto da categoria no
us, they
mundo, né?
visited our
É um
plants.
produto que
This is the
estava praticamente
second
sozinho há
product
muitos anos.
of this category in the
E teve
world.
uma outra empresa que chegou a lançar,
There
mas
was
que
another
por não estar
company that
tendo em
launched
algumas
also
localidades, na
something
maioria das
like
localidades
this,
teve no
but
Brasil, e
it
a
was not
Ourofino traz mais
available,
uma vez mais
in
uma
most
opção para os
of the
produtores
places here in
com a
Brazil.
nossa
And now
Linvac, um produto que
Ourofino
sim vai ter um futuro
is
brilhante também, tenho
bringing this
certeza,
to the
no Ourofino.
producers,
E também
Linvac.
a
I'm sure that
gente
this is going
lança
to have
agora,
great results.
semana que vem,
And next week
um
we
produto super
launch
importante para
another very
a
important
pecuária leiteira,
product
que é o
for
boosting. Esse é um
dairy
produto
cattle.
que já está no mercado
It's
há muitos anos e era
boosting. It's a
distribuído por uma
product that
outra
is
multinacional
already on the
há muitos
market. It was
anos. E é uma
distributed by another
somatoproteína bovina que aumenta
company.
sobremaneira a
It's a
produtividade de
product
leite.
that
E a
increases the
Ourofino,
productivity
com a
of
sua
milk.
força
And
no mercado, nós
Ourofino,
conseguimos trazer esse
with
produto
its positioning
que é
in the
produzido por
market,
uma
is now
gigante
able
empresa
to
sul-coreana
bring this
e que
product
nós
that is
passamos a
produced by
representar
a
exclusivamente no
giant
Brasil
company
agora,
from
né?
South
Existem
Korea.
dois
We
produtos
are bringing it
nessa
to
categoria
Brazil. Now we
e
have
nós
two
vamos então
products
entrar muito
in
forte,
this
espero que vocês também,
category,
junto ao nosso
and we are
portfólio
really now
de
going
produtos para
strongly
leite. Então,
with it
a
in the
gente consegue
market and
perceber, né, que é um
reinforcing
movimento
our
bastante
portfolio.
positivo de empresa.
It's a very
Nós
positive
esperamos ter outras
movement.
surpresas
We
positivas ao longo do ano,
expect
outros
to have
lançamentos que
other
estão
positive
previstos e
surprises
que nós
during
vamos
the
continuar com a mesma
year,
pegada
and we
de
are going
trabalho,
to
né?
continue
A
working
BU,
hard
queria fazer um ressalto, né? Eu
during
estou
this
imitando mais
year.
produção, mas eu queria fazer um destaque
The
especial também para
I would
a
like to
BU
highlight the
de aves
BU
suínos. Você
of
sabe, ano passado
poultry
nós
and
fizemos uma segregação da
swine.
BU de
You
bovinos
know that last
e
year
teve o
we've
maior crescimento
segregated
da
poultry and
história do
swine,
Ourofino, né?
and it had
Cresceu
the greatest
mais de
growth in the
30% no ano
history
passado.
of
Então,
Ourofino,
mostrando
more
também
than
que o foco que nós estamos
30%
dando tem
last year.
muito
So
resultado. Então,
you
novamente,
know, we are
feliz pelas
really
entregas,
obtaining good
ciente
results. We
das
are happy
responsabilidades,
for
das
these
dificuldades, o mercado
deliveries.
cada vez
We
mais
are
competitivo,
aware
nosso
of the
governo cada vez mais
difficulties. The
destaque.
market
Isso
is
traz
very
também
competitive,
mais
we know,
concorrência, mas muito
but
confiante no que nós
we are
temos
really
plantado dentro de casa para fazer as
relying
nossas
on what
entregas.
we
Eu
have
volto mais
planted.
tarde, depois do Marcelo fazer a explicação dos resultados
And
financeiros,
Marcelo is going to
para a
explain the
sessão de perguntas e
financial
respostas. Mais
results
uma vez,
now,
muito
and
obrigado.
I'll be
Marcelo,
back
volto a
with
palavra com
you
vocês.
in the Q&A session. So Marcelo, the floor is
Obrigado,
yours.
Kleber. Eu
Thank you,
dou
Kleber.
sequência, então, ao nosso webinar,
So
trazendo aqui os
now I'm
destaques
going to continue talking
financeiros da
about the
companhia. Kleber já
financial
adiantou,
highlights of the company.
está no foco ao
Kleber has
crescimento da
already
empresa em
mentioned the
2024,
growth of
comparado
the
ao ano
company
23,
in
um
2024
crescimento relevante,
compared
se
to
desconsiderarmos a
23. It's
operação
very relevant,
exitosa que foi
if
descontinuada em maio do
we
ano
don't
passado.
take into
A companhia
consideration
cresceu em termos
the foot
consolidados
and mouth
14,
disease. We have
1% atingindo
consolidated
1 bilhão e 25 de receita líquida, né?
14% of growth, 1
E
billion
crescemos mais que o
of
mercado,
net
100%, em 24 retoma,
revenue.
ganho de market share. Então, temos
So
crescimento relevante. Esse
we
crescimento, como
obtained
já foi mencionado,
again
ele acontece em todas
more
as linhas de
market
negócio,
share. And
mesmo
this
naquelas que estão
growth
mais
happened in all
desafiadas
the
no cenário
BUs,
macro, como
even in
a
those
unidade
who
de
were
operações
challenged
internacionais.
by the
Tá?
macro
Outro ponto
scenario.
muito importante, nós precisamos destacar, como o
And
Kleber
also we need
adiantou,
to
foi o
mention
compromisso
the
assumido para a
commitment
administração de,
that
em
we had
2024,
to deliver in 2024 more profit than revenue. With the reduction of costs, we wanted to grow EBITDA more than gross profit. We began with some actions of cost reduction still in 23, but the impact didn't came in 23. It really came in 24. We grew EBITDA more than the gross profit. Our expenses were really below inflation, and it was really very good. Also, the net profit was very good, and we we closed the year with this very good tax management of the company. And so we had a reduction in the leverage combined with this structure of investment that is aimed at innovation. And now I'm going to talk about the BUs. This graphic brings us the numbers. We grew the revenue, the gross margin, consolidated with exception of foot-and-mouth disease. We had a very good growth, relevant, bigger than the historical margin. The gross margin is now 51.4% in the year, so this was really relevant. Production animals, it's the biggest BU, and we have here beef cattle, dairy cattle. We had this relevant growth in swine and poultry that is now headed by Marcelo Farias, and we are now focusing on the market. We have launching of products, so this line really grew compared to 23, and it helped with the consolidated growth of the company. The unit grew 8.6, but if you look at the compared base, we have 43 million of foot and mouth disease that we didn't have this year. So the growth is really big and expressive and strong with this line of swine that contributed even more than the good periods that we have in the previous years. The gross margin ex foot and mouth is 46.6, even bigger than the gross margin of 22 and 21. So this is the result of the cost reduction, the right positioning and the fair positioning of our pricing in the market. In companion animals, this is the segment that grows more. We have very good results. If we look since 2021, this unit grew 29%. It's very important growth, and the gross margin is bigger than production animals, so it really contributes for gross margin of the company as a whole. So we have a 67.6% in 2024. This is the result of the good job done by Brandão and everybody of the team. We are really close to the veterinarians, to our partners, and this is making the difference in the market. International operations also, we have here comparison with 23. Well, we had the impact of the mouth and foot disease. We have an interesting performance in the countries of distribution. we have a challenge for the growth of the unit caused by Mexico, because Mexico is undergoing difficult situations, but the plans are to resume the growth in Mexico as well in 2025, a very important market in Latin America. But we had growth in Colombia, in other countries. Dollar exchange rate favored us with an important positive impact, with a margin that reached 62%.
Caminhando agora para a análise da
Now,
estrutura, né, das
talking
despesas da
about the
companhia,
structure
vocês podem
of the
observar que
expenses of the company, you
diluição
can
das
observe that we
despesas,
had a
comparado
dilution
com os períodos
of the
anteriores. A
expenses
despesa ficou em
compared with
28,7 sobre
previous
a receita,
years.
por conta
The
30
expenses
do ano passado,
were
e o crescimento nominal, quando se olha
28.7,
a despesa, foi de
and the
4,1,
nominal
enquanto uma receita que
growth
cresceu ex-aftosa 14%. Então, esse foi o
is
motivo
nice,
da
you know.
diluição sobre a receita.
This
E
shows a
também
dilution
destacar que
of
tivemos em
expenses
24 uma pressão
over
inflacionária alta,
revenues.
tanto pelos
We
indicadores
had
normais como
this
pelos de ciclo.
inflation that
Então,
was
mesmo
high in
acomodando,
24, and
mesmo
even with
crescendo um
that,
crescimento
even
de
growing
14% e acomodando a
14%
inflação
and
que
accommodating
pressionou,
an
evidentemente, a
inflation
companhia,
that
nós conseguimos
pressured
crescer,
the company, we
ficar, na
were
verdade, com
able
o SG&A da
to
companhia abaixo da inflação
keep
do
the
ano. Então, isso
SG&A
mostra
of
que,
the
de
company
fato, os
below
esforços
the
da companhia
inflation of
feitos em
the year.
23 e
So
24 foram
the
relevantes
efforts
e
that we did
contribuíram de
in
forma
23 and
significativa
24
para manter,
contributed
né, a
to
lucratividade
keep
histórica.
profitability.
Isso, conforme vou mostrar no slide seguinte,
And I'm going to
sem
show you.
comprometer, evidentemente, a
And
nossa agenda
now
de investimento em pesquisa e
it
desenvolvimento,
happened without
que ficou nominalmente em
compromising our
75,8 milhões no
investments
total,
that
comparado
totalized
com 78,6, né? Não houve
75.8 millions.
contingenciamento, na verdade,
So we
essa
didn't
variação
have
de gastos
contingencies.
totais
The
de
variation
pesquisa
of
entre os
total
anos é muito condicionada à
expenses
própria
is
execução e ao
conditioned
estágio do
to
cronograma
the
dos projetos.
execution
Então,
and the
mantivemos nossa
staging
agenda de
of
pesquisa e
the
desenvolvimento,
projects
que traz os frutos, né, como
chronogram.
comentou, 7
So
lançamentos
we had
em
7
2024.
launchings
Mesmo
in
quando a gente fala de uma
2024.
distribuição, muitas vezes é necessário também
And sometimes,
superar os desafios regulatórios no Brasil,
we need
seus desafios.
to
Então, todo o PND
overcome
trabalha não
all
só
the
apenas no
challenges
desenvolvimento
regarding
interno
to the
e na busca contínua de
regulatory
parcerias por meio da sua agenda de
institutions in
negócios também.
Brazil, but we've searched for new partners, and everything went
O EBITDA
okay.
da companhia ajustado, nós tivemos uma
The
margem de
adjusted
21,6%,
EBITDA with a margin that
né, contra a margem de
21.6%
14,2% e
against the
19%,
margin of
comparado com
14.2
2022, né, que
and
tinha sido até
19
então
compared
nossa
to
melhor referência
23
de
and
lucratividade.
22.
Então, aqui é a
That
combinação
were
de crescer,
the
melhorando a
best
margem bruta,
profitability that we've
controlando
had
bem
so
as
far.
despesas
So
para fazer
you can
para
see
ganhar,
that
né,
we
expandir a
controlled the
margem de EBITDA da companhia.
expenses,
Então,
and we
crescimento
were
no ano
able to
passado de
expand this
65%
margin
comparado com o período de
with this
21,
growth
nós
of
acumulamos um crescimento desses
65%,
28,6% de EBITDA da
and
companhia.
it's a very good growth.
A companhia tem capacidade de
The
crescer, né,
company
gerando
has
caixa,
still
até porque esse
capacity of
crescimento
growing
ocorre
even
sem
more,
expandir, né, as alavancas de
creating
prazo
cash,
e de capital de giro. Então,
because we
cresce com
don't
uma
impact
gestão
the leverage
adequada
of
do nosso ponto de
terms.
vista
So we have a good
da geração
management
e
from
da gestão do
our
capital de
point of
giro.
view
Quem
of
se atentou um pouco mais
the
às demonstrações financeiras
capital,
perceberam
So
aumento dos estoques da companhia em 2024
you
comparado a
can
23, mas esses
observe
estoques,
that
na
we
verdade, são
had
já parte do processo de expansão da empresa no
situations with
segmento
the
biológico,
stock,
né,
with
onde a
the
gente compra os
inventory of the
insumos,
company, but this is
produz
part of
e
our
essa venda vai ocorrer em
strategy.
2025. Então,
The
isso trouxe
sale is
um aumento de
going, the
estoque, mas dentro do
sale
plano, né, e
of
totalmente
those
alinhado
stocks are
em
going to be done now
aumentar
in
cada vez
25,
mais a
but
nossa
everything
relevância
was
em
planned
medicina e no
so
segmento
that
de
we
biológicos. Isso
can
traz um pouco a pressão de
increase
estoque, mas
our
ainda assim
relevance
uma
in the
geração de
market.
caixa
So we have
relevante
still this
de
pressure in the stock,
73,9
but we have
milhões
a
de
very
alíquotas de
good
pagamento de
cash
juros e de
generation
imposto de renda.
that is
Mas
very
se vocês
relevant of
olharem o slide mais adiante, uma geração
73.9
de caixa bastante
million.
confortável para fazer
This is a
pagamentos de 2,
very
3
good
anos à frente
cash flow.
do que nós temos
We can
de
pay
principal para
like
amortizar.
2 years
Ponto importante que
ahead.
aqui nós trouxemos de forma pro
And
forma,
another
vamos assim dizer,
important point
concluímos, né, a redução de
is that
capital,
we've
fizemos o
finished the
pagamento em 31 de
capital
janeiro, após
reduction
cumprir todo o
we
rito, né,
paid in
de
the
aprovação, de novo, depois
31st of
respectivos prazos de
January.
reposição de credores, né,
We respected all the terms and deadlines. And if we get our debt on the 31st of January, and we do the math of everything, our leverage is 1.1 times against the Rio of 1.6. So if you look at the last 10 years, you will see that we are really aligned with what we've done in the last 10 years. So this is going to really allow us to continue with our investments agenda from now on. And the combination of growth, cash generation, the management contributed for the reduction of leverage from 0.9 to 0.6 of the EBITDA. We closed the year with 7.9 of debt, and we have plans for investments in research, innovation, increasing of productivity, capacity. So it's very adequate in our point of view. We have a very good structure in terms of cost composition and also of allocation of debt. We have 17.3% of the debt in the short term and the 83.7% in the long term, and 40% of it is due to be paid in 5 years. So this gives us some comfort. Well, I finish now my presentation regarding the figures and numbers of the company. I'll be back for the Q&A session, and again, I give the floor to Mr. Kleber Gomes. Thank you, Marcelo, for your presentation about our numbers. And we have a question here from André Prats. I mean, 3 questions. I'm going to read them and I will answer. He is congratulating us for the results, and he has 3 questions. First, can we go deeper into the potential of the launchings in the internal and the external market? Well, I cannot tell you about potential of growth of products because we don't give guidance, but I can tell you that the products were launched at the end of the year, the main ones, and they are important ones for our future, especially for our biological line on which I see the potential for internalization. The Glasser vaccine and the immunocastration vaccine, the second in the world, I do believe that they have potential for going abroad, and we are going to work on this in the next years. This is not a short-term thing, it involves registration in other countries. It takes time, but I believe that these products have a big potential. Second, can we comment about the synergies in the Asian market with Mitsui? Well, yes, as you know, Mitsui is a giant in the Chinese conglomerate. It's very strong in terms of investment in other companies. And I don't know the accurate numbers because they change daily, but they have more than $110 billion invested in the world, more than 500 companies in which they've invested, and years and years of experience. So it's a very strong company that opened doors to us and helps us with these synergies. And the synergies that are more obvious are with the local ones, but we search for strategic ones, strategic synergies aiming to bring new technologies that are sometimes created from in Japan and come to Brazil. And I commented about the distribution of the Boost product, and we had the help of Mitsui that have this relationship with LG Chemical that is the producer. So this is already fruit of this partnership. And you know that we have visited Asia with Mitsui. We've visited Korea, China, Japan, and we are not going to stop. So I see a very good partnership with a very good potential and long-lasting. I would like to thank all the shareholders from Mitsui, the corporate planning director, with Marcos Sanz, the advisors from Mitsui that are supporting us, Kakio-san and Sugimoto-san. And the third question, is it possible to comment about the closure of capital that was spread out in the media? Well, we don't have any decision made in regards to the closure of capital. I don't know where this news came from. The company has no decision regarding capital closure in this moment. So these were the questions from André. I don't see any other questions on the chat, so I give the floor back to Marcelo so that he can make his final comments. And I would like to thank all the Ourofino team that has worked so hard to deliver such good results. We had a lot of barriers that were overcame, and I would like to thank also Mr. Jardel, Mr. Val, our founders, our advisors, our management boards, all the committees. I'd like to thank also our financial agencies, especially FINEP, our body that incentivates innovation, BNDES, and other partners from the banking segment. And thank everybody, and especially to our clients and customers that believe in our daily work, that walk together with us, and they are the reason why we exist. Thank you so much. Marcelo, the floor is yours. Kleber, thank you. And I would like to thank also everybody, thank the international relations team, all the stakeholders, and I would like then to finish this call reaffirming our commitment of continue working to create this relevant agenda, to create value to all the stakeholders, all the important people that Kleber mentioned. So have a nice weekend and see you in our next webinar. If you still have questions, you can send them. We are at your disposition. So thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.